Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Lydia Hamidah. I want to explain about the analysis of online English teaching at third grade students of Mantu Bandar Lampung. At the background, the COVID-19 pandemic in Indonesia in late March 2020 started in a positive victory in Depok City. 17 March 2020 conducted on online learning and working from home in the text context of learning to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. It is core of the education process for students, especially in schools in Bandar Lampung, one of which in Mantu Bandar Lampung, which is attended by learning, especially online English learning during the pandemic. This impact also affect teacher, especially students, because the teacher must teach extra with a limited time taught face-to-face using technology. Improving the quality of education can be done through improving the quality of learning of daring learning. The discount learning program PBJJ in alternative curriculum used by every school to carry out the teaching and the learning process, even though it is not face-to-face, using Zoom and WhatsApp group or other media. Identification the problems. Based on the background of the above problems, the research found that number 1, teacher expanded difficulties in the teaching and delivering material to students during the COVID-19 period. 2. Students have difficulty understanding distance learning during the COVID-19 period. And number 3, the teacher used Zoom and WhatsApp group in learning English in teaching every touch. It is not face-to-face where students pay less attention. And the next, limitation of problem. Based on the identification of the problems above, the researcher focus on the impact of online learning in the use of Zoom and WhatsApp group media on learning in class 10 students Mantu Bandar Lampung in the 2020 and 2021 school year. And the formulation of the problem. The formulation of the problem in this study is formulation by the following research question. Number 1, what are the negative and the positive impacts of the learning English online during the COVID-19 pandemic for student Mantu Bandar Lampung? Number 2, do student and teacher experience problems during online learning? And next, interesting about this research. The study indirects for others because this research was concluded during a pandemic, and we analyze it indirectly where distance education has the aim of education effectiveness on improving educational relation of interesting equitable access and expansion of education. And the next, objective of the research. The purpose of this method in the find out what are the problems is online during COVID-19 in using qualitative methods and using Google Form by asking students questions about what impacts the facet during learning English during COVID-19. And the next, place, time, and scope of the research. Subject. The scope of this study was the 10th grade students of Mantu Bandar Lampung in the 2020 and 2021 school years. B. Object scope. The scope of the object is this study in the use of the media. This media used this study was Google Forms by asking students questions about the impacts they faced during learning during COVID-19. Well, the results in this study were the results of the what negative impacts were in learning English during learning during this period. And the C, scope of the place. The scope of this research in Mantu Bandar Lampung, and the time scope. The scope of time of the research was concluded in the 2020 and 2021 academic year. And the next significance of the research. The research was conducted to increase the understanding what we get in the material we study. Research provides in information and knowledge needed to solve a problem and make this question. The benefit of research is to be able to provide knowledge in the result of the research that we examine later. Both of the benefit of the program development and the increase of the knowledge we get. And the next relevant research. Number 1, college and flourish. Explain that the use of technology in supporting online learning, the approach of the three pedagogical factor. The pedagogical approach becomes the first factor includes student connect learning. The second factor in learning design, which includes learning flexibility, learning according to the individual need of the each student, according to the context, social learning process, and the use of the appropriate tools and material. The third factor is facilitation, which includes clear explanation, appropriate question, understanding, and sensitive for cultural issues, providing time feedback, considered and the detail as will a high student attain and community. And the two hang it also details the many challenge of the online learning in a time of pandemic. First, teachers have very limited time in preparing and adapting offline learning materials to be online. And the next, research method. A research method number A. And the next, research design. According to Sugiono 2011, qualitative research methods are research methods based on the post-positivism possibility used to examine the conditions of natural objects, as opposed to the experiments where the research is the key instrument. Data search sampling is done purposefully and snowball. The collections technique is three-element station combine the data analysis is included of qualitative and the result of qualitative research emphasis, meaning rate that generalization, and it is hoped that this method can provide results from students about the negative impact of learning during this. B. Data source. To obtain that data in this study, researchers took data from several samples sent by the teacher to 10th grade students of Mantu Bandar Lampung. And the C. Informant. The informants of this research are the students themselves. The research will be conditioned by means of the teacher sending, fill and student having to fill in some honest question about the negative impact of online learning. Online learning during COVID-19 in grade 10 students Mantu Bandar Lampung. Students score the main source that determine the negative impact of online learning can be seen from on some of the questions asked by the teacher to student and the student participation participasi during this study. Secondary data. Secondary data is a variety of information that has been there before and deliberate collection by the research used to complement the needs of the research data. The secondary data can usually be aggregated through books, government publication, internal organization records, reports, journal, and various site relevant of the information big source. Okay, thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.